Let's talk about Beth Stelling's new special, If You Didn't Want Me Then. The short story on this special is I liked it. It's good stand-up comedy. Go give it a watch on Netflix. Now, this is my first exposure to Stelling, but straight away I liked her delivery. It's very understated.
I'm very grateful for my mom. She raised me and my two older sisters, who I'm very close with. I met them through my mom in the late 80s.
I think it's cool when comics keep the noise floor low so that when they want to go high energy, they got a lot of headroom for it. The message I'm getting here is of an artist who is comfortable with her work. There are a lot of pretty long stories in this special about family, holidays, growing up, dating, all the evergreen stuff. But also on the subject of craft, in addition to stories, Stelling's got some great jokes. They got all the parts that a joke needs to have to work, but they're also carrying the payload of a message. Now, if you ask me, that's what this art is all about. A great joke with a good payload. Like this one.
She's also a pretty big fan of me. You know, she won't stop texting. And she likes to hype me up, before shows. And one time before a show, she said to me, "Bethy, you are so good at stand-up comedy. If it were an Olympic event, you would win gold in women's stand-up comedy."
And this one.
I feel like the only time men believe women is when we're lying about being 18.
Now, there are a lot of people in the world right now who are motivated to say that jokes can and should have no meaning whatsoever. They say that so that they can excuse themselves for laughing at cruelty profiteering type jokes. But the thing about art is that you can't control how people perceive your work. The meaning is there whether you want it to be or not. That's why jokes like these are so great to me, because Stelling, as an artist, is not abdicating the responsibility for the meaning in her work, and she's crafting jokes to deliver that meaning while still being funny. That's what this is all about, guys. For me, the special really picked up toward the middle, where we're getting into slightly more personal stuff. Stelling shot this in her hometown of Dayton, Ohio, so the audience should be packed with friends and supporters, but it seems like she still wanted to start the show with extremely relatable material. I assume to make sure the crowd is with her when she starts to stretch out. I have no evidence of this, I'm just speculating. And one note here is that Stelling is using notes on stage. I'm not sure if they're fully written jokes or just a set list. And mind you, I'm not talking about the part where she's reading something as part of a joke. It seems to me that notes on stage are becoming more accepted, whereas when I started, notes on stage were a no-no. I performed an hour before, and it's a lot of work to memorize it all. I forgot a whole chunk. If you're not performing the exact set every night, then memorizing an hour plus of material is really tough. And Stelling could also be in the position of trying to record every single bit she's got with the intention of editing it down into an hour later. So she might be performing chunks that she hasn't done much or not in a while. A little memory jog could really help bring those back around. I went up a few weeks ago and I brought written notes on a 3x5 card, and a friend of mine said later, "Hey, all the people who aren't old, they just use their phones for their notes." Thank you, Ian. There are ways to do this same thing that wouldn't be as obvious, like taping a set list to the down center monitor or to the floor, or even having a teleprompter down centered. You could do any of this to help your memory without anyone in the audience knowing it's there, and for sure when the show gets edited, you could cut it. Stelling does none of those, which means to me that she isn't self-conscious about it. And really, the only thing we have to do as comedians is be decent people and get laughs, so if you feel more comfortable with a set list, go nuts. Until you get to the venue and there's no stool to put your set list on, that sucks. Long story short, as I said up top, this is good stand-up comedy. You should watch it. I look forward to more from Beth Stelling.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and maybe jump on the Patreon if you want to help me make more. And if you want to talk about comedy writing with people who are trying to do it in a constructive way, we also have a Discord channel.